my name's Cordy. Before the sun completely takes over this room, I wanted to do just a quick kind of question type video and ask you if you've got any kind of neat, weird tricks that you like to do with your Helix, or any other modeler, I guess, HX Stomp, fractal stuff, any of the stuff that you're on this channel when viewing. I guess there'd be some kind of genericism to most of this modeler stuff. Anyway, so one of the cool things, though, this is an odd preset is what it's called. It's in my freeze folder, I think. But this was kind of trying to break outside of the box a little bit and be a bit more experimental in terms of sounds. And this is probably my only preset which uses a pitch ring modulator, and B, the megaphone drive. And those are two fairly unconventional effects, I think it's fair to say. So the way that I'm using them on my expression pedal, I've got like this freeze effect, so it's something like the poly sustain. And then on that parallel path, so the poly sustain is on a parallel path, or in my case I'm using like a delay feedback at 100%. I've got the megaphone, so I can kind of switch to this. Very much a kind of experimental kind of guitar tone, the sort of thing, you know, like Aphex Twin, these kind of things that I grew up listening to a little bit of experimental sounds, and the pitch ring mod in stereo sounds like this. The actual settings I've got on that are as follows: shape 5, duty cycle 50%, octave +3, pitch 0, low cut off, high cut off, FM amount 6.7, FM shape 7.7, FM duty 70%, FM octave +1, FM pitch +1.45, mix 50, and the level was at 5.5. I think probably that's fairly close to stock settings, if not totally. So that's the pitch ring mod. So you can change those octaves, which is kind of cool. But that's like a super weird sounding little effect. You could turn down the, if I turn down the rate, very chaotic apparently. I could take down the high cut. And bring in the low cut even. And bring the mix down as well if you want. And then it's just kind of there in the background doing that thing, and you could... You've got this kind of more chaotic pad to play over. So that's the pitch ring mod. One of those things that I think is a really nice way to kind of shake things up a bit, particularly if you've got a long sustained pad. The megaphone also presumably is one of these things that you don't use much at all, but on this kind of thing I think it's really awesome. So on this we've got grip, tone, focus, space, mix and level. So you hear that grit kind of makes it a little bit more saturated. Tone, obviously you can make it darker if you want to. Focus, I think, is probably something to do with like a mid-hump. Space, again, you're going to add some kind of reflections. And you've got a mix control. So you could go from like kind of very subtle, that's off, that's on, or mix all the way up to 75%. You know, a bit less subtle. of these really cool kind of soundscapey sounds. Kind of remind me of Thomas Newman in some ways as well. You could stack the pitch ring mod and the megaphone. And then my other kind of favourite thing to do is really to have those feedback trails in the delay kind of at infinite, and that's how you're getting that pad effect, which is actually happening anyway. So if you've got things that you like to do a little bit outside of the ordinary, you know, pushing the Helix beyond kind of traditional setups and stuff like that, I'd be interested to hear how you use things, effects that are kind of your go-tos for this. For me, the delay that I always come back to is the dual delay, because you can set up this stereo kind of pad thing that you're hearing throughout this video. You can turn it off, and then it's back. Pitch ring mod, kind of subtle. Definitely a go-to. Also the looper, you hear me use that all the time, and you could set up something, you know, fairly subtle even. I like this sort of thing. And you know, recording at half speed and then putting it up to full speed like this. I think is instantly inspiring for me anyway. And so that's the sort of thing I like to do, you know, play around with the looper. The pitch ring mod is new to me, but I'm really digging the way that kind of randomizes things. The megaphone still has a great use for these kind of pad type things. The dual delay I always come back to. The looper I'm always coming back to. Have you got kind of favourite effects for this sort of stuff? Glitch delay has got to be one that's worth a shout. And particle reverb is also a big part of this tone. You could even put kind of those megaphone and pitch mods on the trail of the particle verb, and that might be quite a cool thing. So let me know about these combinations of effects that you like. Cheers. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. That odd preset will be in the folder. Thanks for stopping by.